What it do? What it do?
Girls and gals, how are you doing?
About that.
What about it now?
Oh, that's a whole different voice. Hold on. Hold on.
You know, I'm a little bit switching between personalities.
What's that called? Bipolar?
I'm not diagnosed yet.
Okay,
So, you know.
that is the key part.
I'm a little here, a little there,
A little
between.
everywhere.
But you want
schizophrenic
girl.
as well.
Oh, it's giving.
It's giving crazy.
We need this. Okay, we're gonna have a real conversation of this. We need the video back. It's giving hand is everything.
It is. It is. But hello, everyone.
Welcome to another episode of Like I Was Saying podcast with,
Velvet and...
it's your girl, Fee Baby. Always on the ones and twos. Good.
I'm weak. Hopefully y'all had a great week, a great weekend. I'm trying to think what holiday. It was Valentine's Day last week.
Oh, yes.
So I don't remember if we talked about it, but happy Valentine's Day.
We did.
Okay. I can't remember. And then it's President's Day today. I worked, so.
I didn't. So sorry. She's giving me the dead eyes currently. She stopped mid.
Nobody cared that you didn't have to work, okay?
You do, though. You do care that I didn't work on a Monday and you did.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But tomorrow is going to be fun for you.
It's all right. It's not even like the hurt I had before on a 3-day weekend. It's cool.
Okay.
I'm Gucci.
I'm going to message you tomorrow. I'm like, how Gucci are you?
I'm relaxing like always. Now, my G. You ain't got to worry about me.
I even worked on some of my stuff for tomorrow because it wasn't like too crazy.
Absolutely not.
So I worked on some of stuff. So tomorrow
That's
I
right.
can
You had
be...
today off. I mean, today you were working.
For
me, and I'm not logging into nothing.
Yeah,
You're not a man,
I got rid of stuff from the day, got rid of some stuff for tomorrow. So instead of me having 15 things, I think I got about 7.
Well, how was your weekend?
My weekend was supposed to be great. I was supposed to go out on a date. It did not happen. I then ended up...
A date with, like, where did this date come from?
It was a previous individual that I was dating.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
But it did not occur. I then went to Richmond.
Okay.
With my little buddy T'Challa. We had a little nice day trip. And went to go visit my friends in Richmond and he got to play with dogs and it was fun for a bit and then it was crazy and then and apparently yesterday nobody wanted to feed us. So the goal is, because I was like, hey, if you're not busy, I'm coming up. And she was like, cool, come up. So I was like, all right, but we got to eat. It's important. And she said, facts, I'm hungry. So we were supposed to get Jamaican. They were apparently closed. And then the other place of Jamaican was apparently closed. And then I was like, all right, soul food. So she was like, all right, this place. She called them several times. And she was like, it's right down the street. I'm going to just go up there. Closed. I said, nobody wants to feed us. So she was like, well, next to it is a wing spot. And I just really... me and Wings, you and Wings, we have a relationship.
We do.
We have a relationship, but I just really did not want wings. And I was like, whatever. It's
what?
fine. Exactly.
You didn't want wings?
I really was wanting seafood or Jamaican.
You know what's crazy? Today I had wings and I almost contemplated seafood. I'm trying. If you find a Jamaican spot like out this way, let me know.
I've seen a couple, haven't been there, but obviously I'm always down. But yes.
We can go try together.
Yeah.
But but you were in Richmond at the time.
Yes.
But like Jamaicans, but wings usually were. I had wings today. So
yes, I had wings today too because I had leftover wings.
We fucking love wings over here.
Yes, but I just wanted
misguided hoes. Wings is it.
Facts, for real though. For real. Wings and seafood, baby.
Yes.
Yes. So I just really wanted, and I said seafood, but I meant soul food. Because she said seafood, and I said, I've had enough seafood. Obviously, I'm always down for seafood.
Right.
But let's do something else. That's why I was like Jamaican or soul food. I really just wanted some macaroni, like some good macaroni and cheese. And I just was like, oh, soul food gonna have that. But I really wanted Jamaican. Because I wanted me some oxtail with some rice and peas and some cabbage. Ooh, it was just in my head. I had it envisioned how I was going to eat it. I just was so excited. And then she said they were closed. And then she said the other place was closed. So we got wings, and it just was not. It was not giving what I needed. It was not. I was so disappointed. It wasn't even like they were bad. It just was not.
There's nothing worse than a place that's supposed to give you wings and doesn't deliver. So especially I know that we like our fried crispy. So if they don't deliver on the fried crispy, like I don't want chewy skin.
That's just really
like
crunchy.
I don't want like a fatty tissue.
Yeah.
It's like if you give me anything less than that, I'm like eating like a piece of your like chicken. Like we're not cleaning the bone.
Yeah.
Like it's just like.
It was not. I think I ate 2 pieces. And I was really hungry. 2 pieces. And they had potato wedges. Wedges was bomb. Me and T'Challa fucked them up.
You and T'Challa?
Yeah.
I can't.
Me and T'Challa fucked them up.
As a unit.
Yes. He over there laying down.
He is knocked out.
He's like, oh, I heard my name. Hold on. Okay, never mind.
Back to sleep.
So we fucked them up. But I really just could not shake needing Jamaican or seafood. So I literally on my phone searching for places that would deliver. So we finally got a place that was deliver soul food. So got that.
I feel like specifically soul food is a hard thing to find in food in general. Like, so you moved on this side, like we discussed, on the Hampton, Newport News area, and like for one, like soul food is just not like a popular thing that people make. It's just not. And
it also.
That's not like
made right.
Made right.
Yeah. And
it's not like a fucking Cracker Barrel.
They don't. Yeah.
But like in terms of like what you see being made, like Cracker Barrel for one is very popular in terms of like the miscellaneous, even though it's not made correctly and it's not appetizing.
Yeah, I don't think that's
But like finding a quality soul food place. It's very difficult.
Well, I know one in Richmond. That's where we actually got it delivered from.
From where?
But Mama J's.
Okay.
Mama J's. And so used to fuck this shit up all the time. And I usually get there. The first time I went there, I got a fried chicken breast and macaroni and cheese and greens. Macaroni and cheese. Awesome. Fried chicken was because they make it when you order it. So it's not like if you go to Popeyes or go somewhere and the chicken just sitting there. They make it when you order it. So that shit come out so fucking juicy. But I didn't want chicken because I just had the fucking chicken wings. So I said, what do I want? It was between catfish because I don't really like catfish. But that was the first place I had catfish in a very long time was Mama J's. And fucked it up. So I was like, okay, it's between catfish and pork chops because the pork chops aren't bad either. And those 2 things I rarely eat. And so I said, fuck it. So I got pork chops. That shit was fried to perfection. I also got candied yams.
I never had a fried pork chop from anywhere. I don't think I've seen it on the menu as an option.
Anywhere?
Yeah, not really. Because it's usually that's like a soul food staple. Like you just don't see fried pork chop anywhere.
You can't do that nowhere.
The only is my home. My mom has made some fried pork chops, but to see it on a menu, I ain't seen it.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple people in Richmond. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So Mama J's, and so I got fried pork chop, candied yams, macaroni and cheese. The last couple times I had the macaroni and cheese, it was not like the first time because I've been there probably a billion times. Especially when I lived there, I would go there. And a corn muffin, oh my fucking god,
So
yes. a lot of people don't like bread, but it's like
I was like, I'm already killed anyway. I don't like cornbread. I don't like roll. Like I like.
Yeah, my best friend don't either. He don't like bread.
Yeah, nah.
But
it's
it's
like
so
I don't know how to compare it to like a Golden Corral like
roll
like bread they give.
No, that's a roll.
How do you just a roll?
That's a roll. Those are two different things. Yes.
Biscuit.
Those are all different.
And then cornbread. Yeah, absolutely not.
You don't like none of them?
Crumbly. No, I just like rolls.
Okay, yeah.
That's it.
So their corn muffin is delicious. I love it because my best friend, he doesn't like bread. So I always have him because you can say you don't want it at all. And I'm like, you better get yours and give it to me. What the fuck?
That's how all friends are. If you don't like it, why are you not giving it to me?
Fact. And so I got that. The macaroni the last couple times just not have been hitting. And I was really hoping it was going to hit this time. It did not. So I was disappointed because it's really what the taste was in my mouth was macaroni and cheese. So I was very disappointed. But everything else was bomb. But I don't know. I think Auntie's back there making the macaroni, not Mama J no more.
Why you say that?
Because it's not the same. Mama J, like I said, I've been there a billion times. And their macaroni, when I first went there, busted. Oh my God. I would get double size of macaroni. Like that's how much I loved it. And then over the last, I'm going to say probably last 4 times, including this one, they just were not, I don't know who was back there, but Mama J not. Mm-hmm. Mama J's not making the macaroni. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Because y'all are soul food. They are literally a soul food place. Macaroni's supposed to be busted. Y'all can't come out. It literally was noodles with cheese. Bitch, what? It was just noodles and cheese. Like, shredded cheese. What is this? No, that's not macaroni. I was so fucking mad. So mad. So yes, I don't know who was back there making it in Mama J's. If y'all listen to this, do better. God damn.
If you know better, you do better. Do better.
Do better. But yeah, so that was basically it. And we watched the new show. Bel Air. I was trying to think because I got Fresh Prince, but I was like, that's not what it's called. It's called Bel Air. And then what else we watched? Bel Air and some other show that I can't remember. What I say her name was in it? Nicole? Is it Nicole? Bauer?
Well, yeah. It's a show on Peacock, who I think is like NBC. Peacock is through some type of like actual company because they have The Office as well.
So yeah,
there's somebody who they're through, but I don't know. You know what? We're gonna look up Nicole Bauer currently on IMDb because I'm a huge. I love Nicole Bauer so much. Like I've seen her stand up. Like she is absolutely awesome. She has her own podcast called Why Won't
Grand
You Date Me?
Crew. Found it. Sorry.
Grand Crew.
Grand Crew is on NBC.
It's one of them ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, elemental P's.
Yeah, it's on NBC and it's through Peacock.
Mm-hmm. And it's what again?
Grand Crew. GRAND Crew. CREW. And it's funny.
We love Nicole Bauer.
Yeah, it's funny. We watched I think 2 episodes and I was like, I'm gonna have to watch it, so I need to actually add it to my list. But it was funny. It's very interesting. It's just about a group of friends.
To Peacock? Okay, so I don't have a subscription. I wonder how much of that is available to non-subscription Peacock members.
Oh, I don't think any of it is.
Oh no!
I think you have to have Peacock. Well, it says NBC, so it may be on there, but I know a lot of things that are like on Peacock, a lot of them are exclusively for Peacock. Like the J-Lo movie that just came out. I just watched that.
What? Okay.
You sound like my best friend. Because when to watch that. He was
there's
please
not much J-Lo that I care to visit at all.
But I was in certain fields and
absolutely not. Like there's zero, like there's like the majority of J-Lo made movies I haven't watched. Like Made in Manhattan and Enough are the only J-Lo.
And that was the one she was fucking him up, right? When she was getting fucked up and
started
fucking him up?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
There's like maybe like Enough and Made in Manhattan. I think there's maybe one other movie. Other than that, anything J-Lo, I have no interest in.
Yeah. I watched it. I was like, okay, it's probably going to be cute, whatever. And I actually enjoyed it. Like I said, I was in my feels. It made me feel things, and that was the duty
And what
that
is
I
this
needed.
that you saw, like that you watched, that had you here? What is the name of it? You know,
The name of the movie? Girl, you don't remember no goddamn names.
girl.
Hell no.
It was J Lo. What are you talking about?
It was J Lo and Wilson. What's his name?
I have no idea.
I don't remember people's names.
At this point, you guys, I drank a whole bottle of wine. There is now liquor.
Are you over here drinking liquor?
Yeah, I've had. Did you not know? I had some.
It's called Marry Me.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh yes, yes. That's on.
With
That's on Peacock?
Owen Wilson. Yes, it's on Peacock.
Wow.
And the man she was supposed to marry. Fine.
I mean, I'm still not gonna watch that because again, I have no interest in Jennifer Lopez at all as a
actress or person.
Not at all. Like I just no.
Mm-hmm. Again, it was for a reason that I watched it, and it served its purpose.
I'm glad it did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so that was that, and it was cute or whatever. I think that's really it. That's all I really did this weekend. Hung out with people, relaxed.
No, the fuck you didn't. Because Saturday we were together.
Shit, yeah.
You loved all of that.
I forgot.
I don't like that about you. I don't like that about you.
I really just went to the sad things. My bad.
Excuse me.
Saturday during the daytime, I hung out with Fee Baby and our other friend B.
Yeah.
And we went to the Dollar Mimosa place.
Ooh, Tiki's bar.
Yes, in Virginia Beach. And then we went to Cooper's Hawk. Mm-hmm. Which is like a wine tasting place. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got lit, ate some good food. That was B's first time at the Tiki's place, so she enjoyed it with a dollar mimosa.
We will have B appear at some point in time. It will happen, but you'll hear their voice.
Mm-hmm. Maybe see them if we get life together. If life gets together.
We will talk about it at some point, and when I talk about it with Velvet, life will be together. Maybe.
Life is rough. You heard. Life is rough. But enough about me. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. What the fuck did I do Friday?
You were off.
A Friday night, sure. I don't know what the fuck I did Friday night.
I think you
was
just chilled.
Anyway.
I think you were just chilling.
Saturday was with you and B. We went to Tiki's and then went to Cooper's Hawk. When I say that is probably the most one out and aboutness that I've had in a while, I really appreciated that. A lot. Tiki's was a really good time. Food was great.
It always is, though.
It is.
And you try something new.
Yes, I had a Hawaiian barbecue plate. It was.
So hold on. So this lady said, "I've never had Hawaiian barbecue."
So
and this bitch ordered a Hawaiian barbecue plate, and she eating it while she said, "I've never had Hawaiian."
But I think Hawaiian barbecue is close to a fondue type thing, where you cook it yourself. Have you been to the melting pot?
Yes.
I feel it's similar to the melting pot. You cook it yourself, nonetheless. But it was pretty fun.
That was the funniest.
I said I wanted to do Hawaiian barbecue, and my plate was named Hawaiian barbecue, etc.
While she's eating it, by the way, it had already came out. It already came out, and she's talking about, "I've never had Hawaiian barbecue," and me and B both look at each other like, "You order Hawaiian barbecue."
I will say the kimchi, I'm a bitch. The kimchi is spicy as fuck.
It was not, y'all.
When you brought it home, you ate the rest?
No, because I forgot it in my car.
Yeah, fuck up. You was a bitch too.
No, I forgot it in my car. I literally found it today. I was wondering what T'Challa was trying to eat. And I was like, "What are you down there getting at?" And I was like, "Oh, don't eat that."
Yo, that kimchi was spicy as hell.
It was not, y'all.
That kimchi, so.
It was delicious. I was very sad because I really want to put it on my burger.
No. That kimchi was so spicy. When the first bite, it's not that bad. But when you keep going, that shit is so spicy.
Mm-mm.
My palate is not. It's not in line with that. It's not.
It's not aligned with it.
But and then from Tiki's bar we went to Cooper's Hawk, which was interesting. So it was a different type of tasting that I wasn't used to. So tasting I'm used to, like you have time slots. You do the tasting, you leave. So B told me go in there, reserve like, I don't know if I just wasn't listening.
That's
like what she said. So like I reserved a table. And I saw all these like people gathering. I was like, what's going on here? So I grabbed the table and they were like, B and Bella was like, no, we need to go to the here. This is where we're. So I go over, I was like, okay, so all the people gathered are for the tasting. So we went into the tasting. It's very different from like, again, like the tasting I've done has been like time slots.
Mm-hmm.
This type of tasting at Cooper's Hawk is like you wait till someone else is done, and then you like step into their spot.
Correct.
And then it's like if it's busy enough, you kind of have to like
maneuver
fight
like I
for
did.
your spot. Like you gotta fight for that. So thankfully on the side that we were on, we didn't really have to like fight for anything. We were like kind of like next in line. So they had like, again, 3 different type of tastings. They had like a variety, a sweet, and then like a deluxe. Interesting. I was like, give me sweet. And you were like, give me sweet.
Because I don't do that dry stuff. Because I was really trying to taste. I was tasting bees, and I just could not. It was throwing me all the way terrible.
But it was a different type of experience with like have you done like wine tasting before?
Just Cooper's Hawk.
Okay.
That's probably my second time going.
So like, since you're on this side, like Williamsburg does like a mix of a whole bunch of different types. Like they don't give you like a different package. Like they take you like, we have to go one day. Like they take you through the entire cellar that they have. Like the tasting that you went through was very like, okay, this is just like bottles at the desk. But like Williamsburg, one of the things is the most like immersive. It takes you down to the wine cellar, shows you all the barrels that they have, and then not only do they like give you a different like the different types of wines that they have, they give you like different types of cheeses, like different types of food to pair with it. So it was very different for me to see it as like they didn't give you any food to pair with it. It was just wines, like wines period. So but it was also because apparently the wine's like only like $7. That's very different from also like a price cut from what I'm used to. So I enjoyed Cooper's Hawk. It was my first time ever being there. Like I've never been there for like food or anything.
I've never been there for food.
Yeah.
But I heard the food is good.
I have. Yeah, me too. So the food was good. Like I heard the food is good, and then like the wine tasting was pretty good too. Like the service we got was really good.
It was fun.
Absolutely. So I'd be interested to go there for food. So that was like Saturday. I love that. Like being able to hang out with you and B, doing Tiki's bar, doing Cooper's Hawk. Like that was nice. Like it's been a while since I've like actually like gone out and experienced like more than one place. Yeah. But like been out with friends. You know what I mean? Like more than one friend. Like you and I will go out and do something. Like to add another person, like we hopped somewhere. It's like one beak, one hop. It was nice.
Yeah, I have not done that in a while either. Because usually when we hang out, we're like, all right, let's go there. And then we either go to my place or your place. Usually mine, but we go back and then drink there or do whatever, watch movie, TV or something. So yeah, it was different. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, let's go find this. And then I just end up doing it. I don't even remember what
it kind of gives like a little sense like of like what it was before, like COVID, like being able to like enjoy like the life. Ability to like make decisions on the whim. Yeah. It was nice. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I went and saw a movie with Bae.
What movie did you see?
Dog.
Wait, hold on up. Yep, I was gonna say it.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if you saw that.
When he was biting on the shit.
If it wasn't for me seeing like a trailer in the theaters, I wouldn't have known it at all.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times on different trailers.
But I saw it in a trailer in a movie theater. Outside of that, I did not. I think the last movie I went to go see, I saw a movie not too long ago.
Was it good?
Sure. I don't remember it. But I saw this movie as a trailer.
No.
Dog?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was like, did you see the movie you saw as a trailer? No. But Dog was, the Dog was pretty good. The only note I have.
Is this going to be a spoiler?
No.
Okay.
No. So of every movie, everyone's different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fall asleep in the middle of a movie person. I'm just not. Even in the movie theaters, I'm just not. So I've only kind of fallen asleep like a little bit in the movie. In one movie, which like Paranormal Activity 56. I fell asleep a little bit in that movie. This was the second movie I kind of fell asleep in.
So that means this shit was boring.
No, it wasn't boring. It was good.
No, bitch.
But I felt like they could have accomplished what they were looking to give in a shorter amount of time. This movie was almost 2 hours long.
Oh, God, no.
And I feel like what they were looking to accomplish could have been done in a shorter time frame. Like, I just feel like they could have accomplished it differently.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would never watch it. Like, if it was a free one, when it comes free, I may watch it one day, but it's just not something I would go pay to see.
It was a different perspective seeing, so essentially Dog is about, like, a military dog going from being, like, active service to, like, I guess you say like, the equivalent of, like, retired.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looks like. Because while it's still an adjustment from people going from, like, active military to retirement, it's whole different from a dog going from their entire life they've been like trained to do one thing
and they no longer do it.
And they don't do that anymore because like they feel like that's a normal for them. That's what they've been trained, so that's their life for them. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what the equivalent was for Dog, was that there was a military dog, they've been trained to do XYZ for their entire life, and now they want them to change from XYZ to ABC. Yeah. It's just not.
Which is hard. I think
it's not the same.
Yeah, anybody,
like as far as like training goes, like we're slowly learning how like when it comes to animals in general, how we train and use them, what their mind is. Are they able to like switch, change from what they've known their whole life to something different? Yeah. So it was interesting, and I wonder if because essentially like a portion of it, which for like whether it's like canines for the police, whether it's like canines for like the military, it's like once they serve their purpose, it's kind of like end goal for the dog. It's like, is there a piece that you can kind of rehome them and retrain them to allow them to still have like a full life? I thought it was pretty interesting because you and I both have dogs, and like just thinking about not allowing them to live to their full extent. I'm sure as you've learned with T'Challa, like you couldn't imagine like doing anything that would harm them prior to like their natural ending of their life. Yeah. It's just different. So like you bring an animal into a situation where like they learn to do XYZ, and once that part passes, you still want them to be able to like live a full and happy life, not just what you've trained them to be. But it's also learning how to. It's a part like humans too, because the guy who trains him is also a military person. So like with the military, they train you to be a specific person. And once you live the military, like you leave it, it's how do you reacclimate? How do you switch off this, like you've learned to carry the gun. You learn to use that to be like an executioner. How do you change that to being someone who you're no longer overseas? You're home, you're domestic. That's a whole thing you got to go through. It is. And I feel like how people go gung-ho for animals, but it's also like for the animals, like once they retire from the police academy, once they retire from being active duty with the police, active duty with the military, what happens with them afterwards? How do you make sure you do that intensive training to bring them out of that like and then those intensive situations to know how you can be in everyday situations.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely an interesting
movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then I so graciously got Monday off for President's whatever, but I got it off, so I'm not going to argue. So I spent a lot of time outdoors. The weather was nice, so I spent a lot at the trail.
That's nice. I spent it in the house.
I'm so sorry that you had to work.
But T'Challa got to enjoy outside. I let him outside in the backyard, and he was having a ball. And then he likes to sit on the front porch and let the wind blow through his hair.
You know, Luna got a little bit of that, but Luna was trying to, you know, she loves to see dogs, but she also wants to play with them. So she's like, bark, 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 bark.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm on your left. My dog's a talker. Beware.
I'm weak.
So as I'm going, she's jumping. Bark, bark, bark. Like, she's supposed to play with your baby. But, you know,
that's it.
My baby is big and dominant.
Yeah.
So not many people hear that and understand me. So I'm like, we're just going to run past you.
Weak.
But yeah, so that was the weekend. I had a 3-day. I'm so sorry you had it too.
It's fine. Got work done.
But yeah, so you know, let's just kind of hop in, if you will.
Okay, what we talk about?
I just wanted to touch base. So literally, when we recorded last week, I left, and I can't remember how I came upon this interview. I just want to kind of reach back and talk about how perspectives matter. So KFC Radio had an interview.
Kentucky Fried Chicken got a radio.
You know what's crazy? I heard that and I was like, yeah, no, it's not.
What's it called?
I don't know, but they seem to be an established, I don't know what their acronym is.
That's terrible. Because I would not even listen to it just because you're in KFC, because they chicken terrible.
But when I typed it, I made sure I didn't read it backwards. Like it was KCF. It is KFC.
They got Kentucky Fried Chicken Radio.
But the funniness is, so we talked about the million, billion, gazillion sexy
the galores of the tapes.
That leaked or quote unquote leaked. So KFC Radio apparently had an interview with Nelly and Kevin Hart about the Real Housewives of Hollywood. And on their interview is where supposedly Nelly first discovered that his sex tape was leaked. So while they were interviewing, I was listening to the first part. They were like, he was like, him and Kevin were so unengaged. Like they had a lot of like in between them jokes, like inside jokes. Like we really didn't know what was going on. And it wasn't until after the interview that we realized that our interview was the first time Nelly understood that sex tape leaked. Like apparently at some point he was like, I think it was like, oh God, or something like that, or oh my gosh, something like that. But like, excuse me. The reason I say this is because we had our spiel. I have not really looked upon or had the consumption of this video.
I thought you saw that one. You saw that one.
I seen a portion.
You didn't see Fizz.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see the mushroom. Right.
Yes.
So perception matters. So the people on KFC Radio, they're two white men.
Okay.
Again, I say this perception matters for a reason. So they were like, we didn't understand why like Kevin Hart and Nelly were so unengaged in our interview. But like we realized afterwards that like we broke the moment that Nelly found out he had like a sex tape going on. He was like, we saw like that girl taking like that big dick in her mouth. Like we're just like super like pushing like big dick energy on that.
So that can happen for one or two reasons. One is Dave's joking his ass, and it is.
I can hard stop you now and let you know they were not trying to play him at all.
You don't think so?
When I tell you, if you heard the interview,
okay,
absolutely not.
Well, then if it's not that, then that must mean that y'all have the same equivalent to said person or less. Yes.
It sounds like you may not be matching too.
And goddamn, and goddamn.
I just want to make sure we all on the same page.
Yeah, everyone has different perceptions of it. I saw a video that someone was like, he got a nice sized one. He said, I don't understand why some of y'all women out there want things to just rearrange your whole organs and body and throat. I don't want that. And I bust out laughing. I was like, I'm not saying that most women want that type of
dick.
Yes, I was trying to figure out something else, but basically
dick.
In their life, but that was not big. That was, I would say, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I'm going to say he was about 5.5, 6 inches. But he was thick.
Yes.
So that is the difference, because thick can still hit.
Girth.
Yes. A thick can still hit. That's the title.
Mm-hmm. A thick can still hit. I'm going to text it to you.
So thick can still hit, but yeah, I don't foresee it being a big ass dick. For me, a big ass dick is long and girth. That is my perception.
But that's where, the perception matters, mm-hmm. and who is watching the video, mm-hmm. and either what dick they have or what dick they're given mm-hmm. matters. Mm-hmm. So, what I seen, I can't agree with what they're saying.
No, not big dick.
But I also don't know what they working with.
Small dick.
Energy. Got it. So, we gonna move off from that. Mm-hmm. So, months ago, there was...
Removed from dick to cheating.
Or what's your perception
of cheating?
That is.
Okay, so we're talking about perception.
Yes, everything is perception.
Cheating. Everybody perceived that he was cheating.
Dick size is perception.
Uh-huh.
We need to understand if cheating is perception.
He was absolutely. So everyone perceived it.
So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
So we saw months ago,
a bullshit.
There was a woman in the water in Miami.
Mm-hmm. Looking nice.
She was frolicking, yes, in a beautiful, cheetah leopard print bathing suit. And there was a man who came up to her, locking fingers.
Key part, came up to her. Step one.
Yes, what it seemed from the perspective.
Bitch, it was, no.
Asterisk, star. From the perspective of the video, he approached her. Hand locking.
Touching.
Very nonchalant in the ears. And, and social media is like, social media, do your thing. Find him. Mm-hmm. Because they were strangers in this video where he approached her in the water. Mm-hmm. So social media, do your thing. So they find out who Mystery Man is.
Mm-hmm. And guess what, y'all? It's just such a surprise that he's married with 4 children. Not 1, 2, or 3, but goddamn 4. 4 children. Goddamn. 4 of them motherfuckers. And he just decides, you know what? Fuck it. I'm in Florida. Let me go ahead and talk to this beautiful woman out in this water.
So first, before we break down what happens next, the behavior that you see, so essentially the video is, again, as I kind of described, the man and the woman, they're interlocking hands. There seems to be a little bit of sweet nothings, but they seem to be very idealistic in the view of the video. So if this female is to be a part of a relationship, how do they look upon her?
If the girl that he approached was in a relationship?
Absolutely.
How would it look upon her?
Yes.
She should, if you are in a faithful relationship and you are a faithful individual, if a person approaches you in a manner of that nature, the first thing should be no. No. Thank you for telling me that I'm beautiful. I appreciate that. but I have a man. Or you ain't got to say none of that. Or you can say thank you. I feel like saying thank you is nothing wrong with it as long as you're not being flirtatious afterwards. Thank you. I appreciate that. And keep it pushing. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to do all the smiley, bat your eyes, none of that. Mm-hmm. You can just say thank you. I appreciate it. And go your other way. Or go back to what you were doing, hanging out with your friends, whatever you're doing in the water. If you had a male, a relationship or whatever you're, in, whatever type of ship you're in. But yeah. So that's what I feel. That's what I would do if someone was to approach me, because I am not a cheater. I've never cheated. That's just one thing that I won't do. So yeah, that's it. Like, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So let's flip. Mm-hmm. Let's say you are the woman in the situation. Mm-hmm. And you see your man being approached in this video. Like, let me switch. You're a woman, not switch, and you see your man approaching a woman.
So I'm at the place and see them approaching, or are you saying I'm watching this video?
The video. You're watching the video.
Okay, I just want to make sure where I was physically located.
You're watching the video, and you see your man approach a woman in a bathing suit. Hand lock. All that. What is your response?
I feel like everybody heard what I said without me saying anything. But with actual words, I would have a conversation with my said partner. So I try my hardest to let people speak to a certain degree. So
that's hard, right? That's really hard,
especially with that.
Oh, and I'm speaking I'm with you in this. Yes. It's hard to hear someone else vocalize in these moments. Okay.
So I would have to take deep breaths, and I probably, after I watch the video, probably wouldn't speak to him for a bit because I would need to calm thyself down. And so then after I calm thyself down, I would say, okay, who we gonna call my man today? Jermaine.
Okay.
Okay, Jermaine. So there's this video, going around, and my friend Fee messaged me and was like, hey, I think this is your man on the video. And I watched it, and I just am very intrigued on what occurred on this day. And then I would let Jermaine speak. And then, depending upon what Jermaine said, would depend upon thy actions that shall follow.
Okay. So, do you perceive...
He was cheating. Is that what you're
saying? All right. So, because after all this transpired, so essentially the woman put out a video saying, TikTok, do your thing.
And they did.
And TikTok found him. And she even prefaced by saying, I hope he's not married.
Correct.
Found out he's married.
And the thing is, the wife is the one that saw the video before he even did, apparently. And so she went off on the husband. It should have. And then they get interviewed by, I don't know what.
Shade Room.
They get interviewed by the Shade Room. And the bullshit that comes out thy mouth just...
What I find disheartening is, so it's very hard to be the woman in the scandal of what's going on. Like Derek Jackson with the fucked up last name trying to abbreviate bullshit. So it's very hard to be a part of someone else who has created the scandal and wanted to stand beside them. So she said that her husband was not cheating. And since there was no sex involved, because she was like, you were trying real hard to find him, so something must have happened. So, like, did y'all have sex? And it's kind of like, well, there was in the video that we saw, there was a type of chemistry there. They didn't have to have sex or anything for the chemistry that they had on, like, the video to be there. So it sounds like you're in agreement with what was caught on camera. Again, there was no, besides the hand holding, there's no like kiss, anything else like that. It sounds like just the initiation of what happened, that sounds like cheating to you.
He should not have approached her. What was the point of you approaching her? You are married. The only reason to approach her is maybe if her boob was hanging out and you were being a gentleman and telling her, hey, ma'am, your boob is hanging out. You may want to put it up. Or, oh, ma'am, I don't know, something about her wardrobe. Obviously, you're going to look. Bitch, I'm going to look. There's going to be men on there that I will probably look at the beach. I'm not going to say the no. If there's a half-naked man with muscles that looking fine, I'm going to look. But what I'm not going to do is approach him because I have a man. Bitch, I have a husband.
Right.
You have a wife. It's not even like you talking to a girl. Or even if you want to say you're not technically married. You know how some people like to say, well, I'm not in a relationship till I'm married or whatever. You're literally in a relationship because you are married. So you can't even say none of that. Why did you approach her?
Right.
That is the key part.
Mm-hmm. No,
so that is the problem. Why did you approach her? He didn't have sex with her. Don't mean he didn't have sex with nobody else.
That is true. Because the way he was acting, I would be very curious to find my significant other acting in that way.
Because I bet if I was a betting woman, I betteth that he had a sexeth with somebody else's.
Yeah.
Or somebody else's, depending on how many days he was there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my perception as we are talking about. He absolutely cheated. I do not, no. Because if she would have did it, guess what his ass would have did? Been up inside. I don't know if he's abusive, but if he was, he would have hit her. If he's verbally abusive, he definitely would have did some verbal abuse. They would have had a whole big ass argument if she did the same thing. So that's the thing that I don't get with dudes is I want this or this or you can't do that, but your ass go do it. But let me do literally the exact same fucking thing you did and see how happy you are with it.
It's because there are double standards. And the reason why, what I have observed from what I've read, is that men just cheat to cheat. But apparently, women cheat for an emotional portion.
Not all of them.
But like, I also don't like that and don't appreciate that because
cheating is cheating.
Cheating is cheating. Because my issue is that men try to minimalize why they cheat.
Correct.
They try to make it sound like it's not that big of a deal. Women, like, they want to make these connections. And it's kind of like, one, it's not all the time. But if you fucking her on a regular, that's the only person you doing that with, there is something there. Mm-hmm. You cannot say, like, I can cut it off tomorrow and be done. Because if that's the case, you would have done it.
And if that was the case, there was no reason for you to do it.
Right. If it's not that big of a deal,
why do it?
Then why do it?
Correct.
I don't.
Because it's bullshit, and they just like to put everything on women. That's just how it always is. Put all of the burden on women.
Don't act butthurt and don't act like overly emotional when a woman does it. Mm-hmm. When you've been not giving that to her, one, because you are doing the same thing.
Oh,
like you're doing the same thing, so she's now stepping out. Mm-hmm. But like, I just don't like how it's like, oh, ours isn't that big. Like it's not emotional. It's just a physical. Don't play that bull with me. Mm-hmm. Like, don't do that. Don't make it seem like what I'm doing is worse. Mm-hmm. Like we both doing it. Like don't.
And your dick is emotional.
Like,
don't. It may not be your mind, but your dick emotional. Your dick is attached to that pussy.
Because at the same time, you doing that, you may not be emotional about it, but the bitch you fucking is becoming emotionally tied to you. Mm-hmm. Like, don't play with me and act like what you're doing aren't, but like the person you fucking, like that person is becoming emotionally tied to you. Like, there's no way around that.
Correct.
There's like,
unless she a ruthless bitch.
You want to act like women are emotionally tied to people? That is who you're fucking, a female. Mm-hmm. Don't play with me like that.
It don't make sense. I don't think of mine. I wish a motherfucker that I was talking to would dare to tell me that shit. A man who went that
far in a video, you can't tell me he ain't fuck nobody, sis. And to say like, we spoke to God, we spoke to our parents, you need to sit down with a counselor. Like,
they said they were going to do it.
Outside of all that, sit with a counselor on that shit. Because that don't make sense to me. You say you did all of this, but you're not speaking to the right people.
Well, she said they were.
Nah, because you more putting in what you spoke to your family and God about.
Mm-hmm.
But this man, if he did, when I tell you on 10, on 20, as I know to explain, if I saw my man's like holding a woman's hand like I saw him do with her, if you knew he was single in that video, like you just knew he wasn't velvet married to somebody, you couldn't have told me in that video.
Mm-mm.
From what? So let's reframe that. Someone who's married to me. I could never imagine someone who's married to me
doing that.
When I tell you, I would have like.
If you were the wife,
I would have fucked him up, oiled, deep fried, pulled his ass out, ate his ass up, and threw him back out. There's no, because you were exchanging sexual energy at that point.
Correct. He was going to fuck her.
He was.
And that's why the exchange of the numbers occurred.
And I just feel for her because she is in a way cloaking this in a way that's not realistic.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think I'm that type of person. So I don't think I could be like one of those like wives, like a governor's wife or stuff like that. Because they usually
be like the face.
They have to be able to usually, because you have to hold those in so it looks good for whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm that type of person. I feel, depending upon what it is, well, one, because you're embarrassing me, number one, but also to me, I feel like you are disrespecting me. Mm-hmm. And that's a different type of thing. Like, if you have no respect for me, then what is the relationship? What is any of that?
Right.
So it's a no for me.
And she said something. She said, I would never marry a cheater. He's not a cheater.
He is a cheater. And that's why she said it.
But like, and I understand how insulting that is to marry someone who would do that to you. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to save face in that way. Mm-hmm. Like, I know he would never cheat on me. But I also need to understand, like, what is cheating in your book? Like, I need to understand, what does that mean?
Most people in the world believe that cheating is the physical act.
Of what?
Sex.
So if I see my man's grab up on a female the way I saw him doing that video,
oh, he can pop.
I'm fucking you up.
Facts.
Like, it's just, like, you can't talk to me. Like, you just can't. Because you, of an individual, mind, body, and soul, went up to her.
Correct. That's the problem up front.
Like,
that's the problem up front. So if she would approach you and you gave her your number, I still obviously would be very upset.
Because who is he with?
Boys, obviously.
So I also need to let you know, so I don't give a fuck what you feel about your men's. Because if I were just like, you'd be like, Fee, don't do that. Like, you with XYZ, don't do that.
Hell no, not on my watch, bitch.
Because that's just like, you know what I want for me. Mm-hmm. And I know what you want for you. I'd be like, V, nah, that's not what you want. You don't want to explain that later. That's not who you are. Mm-hmm. So when I see men allow other men to be unfaithful, I'm like, I can never... So it's like a multi-layered thing. Mm-hmm. One, your men's ain't faithful. Mm-hmm. But two, I can never trust you around your men's again. Because they allowed you to go... So if they were on like a men's only thing, I can never trust you around them again. Because they let you go up to a woman. That video was longer than I would ever be comfortable with my man touching another woman. Mm-hmm. You was like holding hands, going around, all that. I would have been stopped you from doing that. Like, that's not who you are. That's not what you want. That's not what we're here for. You've taken literal vows to this person. It's not like a boyfriend, girlfriend. You're married to them.
People do different things.
Yes, but that's also like understanding who you're around and who understands the values that you have.
Correct. But most men, unless they have a certain type of group of people, and I think they also have to be on a different type of level of, I want to say of being a man, but I don't know what other words. So that most men are not going to stop another man from doing that. It's very few that I can think of personally that would stop their man's from doing that. But again, that depends on what type of level
Right.
you're on. Like there's some boys, is what we're gonna call them. You're older 18 or whatever, but you're still a boy. You're a boy. You can be 40 and still be a boy,
Right.
Because your mentality is not of the same thing as a man,
Mm-hmm.
a faithful man, or any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just don't.
We just square up because
Don't.
you don't even have to be a married person. Like I'm a
'cause
whole like.
if we went out and you was flirting with some person, I'd be like, girl, you better stop that shit, because I will not be answering no goddamn questions for no goddamn person about none of this shit that you
Exactly.
doing over here. So your ass need to fucking stop.
Exactly.
Because I ain't got time for it.
So that's just, unfortunately, she's going to have to evaluate who her husband is.
Well, they said
And
they're going
that's
to counseling, so
beyond, that's great. That's beyond what God, her parents, and therapy has brought to her. She's going to have to assess that. But she's also going to have to assess the people who he brought with him on that trip.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but most
beyond
women aren't called to do that. So
no, absolutely not. Like the last person I seen got married, who was in my tight circle, who I seen their people and their bridal party not act within what it should be for a man who's getting married within a very small time frame after they're going out. Had a whole conversation with them. Like, whether it's bachelorette, bachelor weekend, you should not be doing anything that brings shame to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get the best man holiday, best man XYZ, but what do you truly want to see as your partner you doing on the night before your wedding?
Mm-hmm. You got fun,
if you're not
but you
behaving in a way that is shameful to your partner, it's a wrap. If I see that your people don't understand what aligns in our values, because your people should be a reflection of you, not a reflection of who they are. Mm-hmm. If they are not looking at what you're doing and saying like, hey, this is not in line with who Velvet is, then that's a problem. Like, they can be a whole wild case. Like, your friend can be a whole cautionary tale. But that person should know who you are in their heart of hearts. If they don't stop you from what you're doing because they know that's not what you should be or what you want to do, that's a problem. Yeah. But yeah, that video just because at the same time you want to cape for who you're married to. And it sounds like she and him have been married for a while. Unfortunately, she didn't consider it, in my eyes, she didn't consider it cheating. And that just kind of broke my heart because I feel like those are the building blocks of what it looks like to your man cheating on you. Like, I never want to see my man approach no other female in the water ever. Like, it just, wherever
unless he's saving her because her ass is drowning. Right. Or again.
And it wasn't that.
No, she was standing
They looked very into it with one another.
And I feel bad for the girl because I'm quite sure people are like, you gotta break up a happy home. I did not know they were fucking together. That's not what he said. And then he lied about talking about something. That's not what happened, sir.
He looked very dumb in the video.
Sir.
And he looked very upset at the extent of which she was being persecuted for it. You deserve it. You're married, which seems like for some years. And you broke that and you're wanting to act like you didn't know what was going on and you were being filmed. And I hope at some point either change behavior leads to what helps you guys. But I hope that this trend is not what he continues to do to where it pretty much breaks your guys' vows.
I'm going to go with that. I go with the second.
Whew.
But I hope that everything works out.
It's such a loaded, right? Like, that's so loaded. Because either what does someone consider cheating? What someone doesn't? What is cheating for people married, not married? Like, there's multiple layers to that.
I consider all of it.
Oh, absolutely. Everything that happened in that video, I would really light a whole fire under your ass. Like, you can't say in the beginning of the video, she talked about that's he's for the streets type shit, and that wasn't cheating. Because you could not have not felt the type of way by saying that to her, and then say it wasn't cheating. Because you act like you can have him type shit.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have said that if you didn't feel like that was cheating.
That felt like it was cheating. But she had to make it seem
I hope that it sounds like she did a whole bunch of working. I hope he has done the same. I hope he did the equivalent of working that she did.
No, because he can't even tell the truth of what he did. The first step is the truth.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true.
So what's the no?
It's a no.
I feel bad. I hope everything works out in whichever way it's supposed to go,
Mm-hmm.
especially with him having kids. However, you don't need to stay in a relationship because of kids. So I just hope that everything works out and the wife finds whatever peace she needs to find to do whatever she feels is necessary for her and the children.
Facts.
Other than that, yeah. Mm-mm.
So, just an update from our last potty. So it looks like from
The baby
with his fight with Dani Leigh's brother, Brandon Bills is now filing suit against the baby for physical and psychological damage.
Damn, the baby about to have to pay.
Yeah, because not one video that's shown is in the favor of the baby.
Mm-mm.
Not one.
Yep. So
and it's not beyond me to see that is what would happen, because the video shows, regardless of what the baby tries to say, and that could be a valid, a partially a valid defense in court, as far as what Brandon said on social media,
mm-hmm.
but his posture prior to the baby lunging forward after him, there's no defensiveness in Brandon Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just the baby who attacked him.
It was a bunch of people.
Yes, all under the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So while all these other people who have not taken action against you, like there have been multiple situations where the baby has attacked either. There was specifically a hotel staff person who filmed the baby and his child at a specific hotel, and that made the baby mad because that gave up his location. So he assaulted the hotel staff. This is a person who don't give a fuck about your stature.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how far this is going to go, because he hit the floor of this.
The bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
He about to make some. He's definitely gonna win something.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think the baby care no more. He just needs to figure out his life. I feel like it's going down the path of Kanye West. Like, it just was okay, and then it started going south. Like, just crazy shit. So, I don't know. He needs some counseling or something. Because I think the baby grandma passed.
Who? The baby? His grandmother?
Was it the baby? I don't remember. Maybe it was somebody else.
I haven't heard that.
I could be making that up, and it was somebody else that I'm thinking of. But a lot of people, I feel like somebody passed in his family. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. But I don't know. It seems like he needs, something's going on in his life. And
absolutely not. No. I'm sorry. I can't shoot him that bail. This is how he handles,
yes, but that doesn't mean that other things can't occur.
There could be other things that occur as well, but this seems to be a pattern with the baby.
Yeah.
So that's also a problem with injecting people who have been from a hard ass
right.
lifestyle into this, because that is what their response is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to take that lifestyle and inject it into entertainment and celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard, because that's not how celebrity handles shit. That's just not. They don't handle it like this. They don't handle it with violence. They don't handle it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very different, especially with rap and hip hop. Understanding with people who become from a specific type of environment and lifestyle, and you just can't. It's difficult to take media training to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. The baby not too long ago shot someone dead in a Walmart parking lot for robbing him or attempting to rob him.
Well, I can't say anything about that one, so.
No. What I'm saying is, it's hard for you to say and tell someone who has been in that position for one, what their disposition is. Then not too long ago, he shot someone dead in a Walmart parking lot for trying to rob him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have someone who is publicly, like on social media, has threatened you,
mm-hmm.
and then like popping up in front of you in person. Like
mm-hmm.
you want so like entertainment industry, right? Want so badly to say what he should and should not do. And because like that is of the white privilege. That's white people, like whether it be his record label, what have you, trying to tell him what he should do. You should ignore something or XYZ element of P, walk away from it. When that's not what the streets have taught the baby to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's also not like what has made the baby pop in the way he does. Like he had literally said in Masterpiece,
mm-hmm.
he said, I don't know what happened or went down that Walmart parking lot. He's referring to the relevance he has received and the clout he's received from killing someone who's robbed him.
Mm-hmm.
And where he's from, that's valid. Like that's what you do to someone who tries to run up on you.
And I would agree with it.
I'm not disputing it. That's what you do to someone who tries to run up on you.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And so whether Brendan Bills did not throw the first punch, he's there to initiate some hot shit. You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
you're coming to a place where I have like dominance at, and you're
was he there first? Was
the baby was there first?
Okay,
the baby
I didn't
was
see
at
who
the
was there
bowling
first.
alley
okay,
with his crew.
Oh, so he came up there by
and
himself.
Brendan Bills came there as an individual, mind you, after threatening him, saying like, "When I see him, it's on site." So you have like context is relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even though we're in an entertainment industry, you have threatened me in real time on social media through interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not like when you see me, that threat is real or not, like we have to settle that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the street, like I need to settle that with you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the baby should realize that since now you are, I don't want to say a different person because you're not.
But how do you translate that entertainment to street?
So just like a child, and I think we discussed this a little bit maybe on a podcast or maybe just personally,
mm-hmm.
when a child gets hit, what are the steps they're taking?
Mm-hmm.
So in a school, if if your child gets hit, what are the steps that you tell them to take?
But how does that happen in real time?
The same thing in real time is
personal emotion
mm-hmm.
and like instinct overrides that. So the baby has been in instinct survival mode
forever,
way more than he's been in the entertainment industry.
Correct. It's something they're gonna have to.
So I'm not trying to shoot the baby bail, but it's like also at the same real time. While like Brandon Bills is trying to bring him some like shit in real time,
mm-hmm.
like
he should have tried. He should have let
like there's a reason Dani Leigh fucked with him.
Yeah, you should have let Mr. Bill try to swing on you and tries the key part. And then once he tried to swing and it was caught, you knock his ass out and whip his ass.
That is what you really should have waited for.
Correct. That is
because his entire narrative is I went there to talk to him. So that is not the environment where you want to go, where you have nobody.
Yeah. And I think even like in the streets though, it's not necessary. Well, on site. If you say on site, then that usually means on site.
And that is
so he should have squared up though. I don't think he squared up. The baby didn't even square up. He just knocked. But he didn't even hit him. But he just went for the.
But like you just can't go nowhere where I'm dominant at, where I
correct.
Have the pool.
Because that also is a whole like you trying to play me type thing, and that's the whole thing. Yeah,
you can't.
So in reality, what should have occurred is if Mr. Bill came up there, the baby should have allowed him to attempt to throw said punch, and then go from there. But the baby did not allow said things, and he went first, and then it just went from there. But the baby, I think, only hit him like a couple times. It was his goonies that did the rest.
Oh, absolutely. They understood. So the people who are with the baby
understood the assignment.
They understand what to do when it gets like that. Mm-hmm. They know what they got to do.
Correct. So, but it also, I have to determine, did the baby actually hit him after the first initial lunge? Because the first initial lunge, he did not contact him. So that then goes into, did he hit him after that first initial contact or that first initial attempt? So I think that would be the first thing, because if he never hit him, I think he stumped on him.
He made contact at some point. He did not make initial contact. He
made contact at some point. So then that would have to determine, though, he initially attempted to hit him but did not. Did old boy hit him first?
You know, I don't think Mr. Bills made contact with anybody.
He didn't? I thought he made contact with somebody.
Child.
I'm going to have to look back at it, because then that would be the question. Who actually made the first contact? So then if Mr. Bill made the first contact, then that kind of changes things. So it's a whole thing that goes into it. So
right. But if it is the baby's peeps, because it is the baby peeps who made contact first. The baby's peeps. So while the baby looked like he punched him in the chest, the baby really just had a drink.
Yes.
The baby's peeps who pulled him back.
So, okay, so Bill made no, okay.
None.
I just
wasn't. Physical contact was made by, on behalf of
the baby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, baby, you about to pay.
So we gonna keep you posted.
He about to pay.
On what happens on that.
He about to pay. I already told you. We don't need it. He about to pay. He paying. He is paying today.
All right. So we talked about that. Let's kind of let's switch gears a little bit from that to topic of the day.
We haven't did one of these in a while.
We haven't. It's been a bit because people have given us topics to talk about.
Yeah.
Not topics of the day. So when it comes to no longer being with someone, and whether or not there are pulls from yourself or there is bait thrown out by the other party, how do you deal with standing your ground and not falling into the same trap or position that you have been in with them before?
That is a very hard. That's a difficult question. I think that everyone deals with it differently. I don't know. That's a hard one for me, to be honest. Because when I have feelings for someone, like some people can just be like, fuck it and be done with it. And it doesn't bother them anymore and they can move forward. There are people like me where, depending on how hard my feelings are, or because when I love someone, it doesn't have to be in love with someone, but even just love someone, it's hard for me just to not talk to them. Or
in terms of when you say talk to them, what does that mean?
Like just talk to. It doesn't even have to be talk to them in the sense of wanting to get back with them. It could just be if I'm used to talking to them on a daily basis or used to talking to them about something, especially if they gave me advice about whatever it could be. Obviously, y'all know that I date men. So, and me having a son, sometimes depending upon who I'm talking to, or if I believe that I trust them in a certain manner and I've talked to them about my son or things going on, if something occurs, sometimes it's hard for me to be like, okay, well, dang, I can't talk to them any longer about whatever is going on. Or even if it's not about my son and it's just about, I want to talk to him about my day or just, I don't know, want to communicate with him because I miss them or miss whatever we did talk about, our conversations. I don't know. It's very hard. I think usually because writing is an outlet to me, sometimes I write, but sometimes I don't feel like writing. So then it's like, what can I do in order for me not to go back into that pattern? And to be honest, sometimes I just don't know. I just don't know. And it's hard. And sometimes I just have to put my phone down. And I've had to do that. Like today, I had to do it. It was hard. So I wanted to talk to somebody and I was like, nope, don't do it. And I put my phone down. I put it on my bed.
So what do you think pulled you into that space of don't do this?
I just don't feel like dealing with it right now. Because I'm like technically the beginning stages of healing and moving forward. And I think that just would put me backwards and not forwards.
So, whenever we speak, it's from a personal stance, personal perspective. So, whenever I've been in that space, it helps me like put into perspective, like, this is why, like, for example, I'm putting distance between myself and my phone.
Mm-hmm.
This person has done X, Y, Z to make it to where I feel like this is necessary. And emotional pieces can be very influential in what you're doing. But then you can have an entirely different, like, emotional influence as to what makes you do the exact opposite of what you've been doing so far. So, like, I know with yourself, like you give people, like, chances. Like, you give, like, X, Y, Z. You try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And once you've reached the place that I feel like you are now, there's a specific reason. So with, like, I know for myself when I've been in this position, like, saying, like, I haven't been, especially, I know this is like something new with this specific individual. Like, I haven't been in this place before with this specific person, but this is why I'm here. This is what they've led me to bring about this specific reason. I don't like you have to, like, name things when it comes to, like, people who you don't wish to encounter these specific emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this person has brought about this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I don't want to continue this specific path for this person due to, this specific reason. It's really difficult because, especially when dealing with these type of emotions with these people,
mm-hmm.
You want to, have the fix it, the end all be all. Like, how do I get past that point? And it's very difficult because I can say that to you, but, like, I know I've taken about someone, multiple times over an extended amount of time who I knew based on, like, my previous interaction would not give me the end goal of what I needed.
Yeah.
But if you really, like, sit with yourself, regardless of what someone wants to give you, like, these flowery reasons to like, say differently, like, the issue and the main thing when it comes with people is words are great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, changed behavior is
the
really
key.
what most people are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people will be satisfied with words. Like, I'll do this, I'll do that, or I'm sorry for this. But, like, words are great, but change behavior
Mm-hmm.
really, like, constitute what you're going to do moving forward.
Correct.
If you don't show me, like, you can say, like, I'll make time. But if you don't make the time, if I don't see you more frequently, if, like, you don't validate feelings, like, that's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, especially with dealing with seeing a person and knowing what their patterns are before, and if you don't set boundaries to not let what their patterns were before you, like, being in the space that you are in now, to prevent them from, like, moving forward and really sticking to that, is, like, a really important piece with dealing with, like, an ex or, like, who you've dealt with before, because an ex knows your patterns. They know who you are. They know how to try to, like, break that and to try to, like, pacify it, so they don't have to do the real work
towards you. What
Yeah.
you want.
But again, I feel like change behavior
is a key part.
is really what we're looking for.
Correct.
Like, words are very easy to pacify.
Correct. And usually when the words, they do it for a little while, and then, but that's truly not who they are, so it just goes back to it.
And I feel like, for myself, once I was really able to, like, try to break that ideology, because, we all want what we have to be perfect and be it, and be what they say, but you really have to hold those people accountable to what they say.
Yes. And I think I think one thing that does help me is I have to think about what I learned, what the lesson was. And so some people don't care for that, but I think that's something that I have to do, which is my friend over the weekend, she gave me like a little journal and asked you certain things. And in there, it does mention, what you learned, what your lesson was. And so I was thinking about that earlier, like even not just my recent relationship, but just all my previous ones. I had to go back and reflect on what were the lessons that I learned. Some took me years to learn. And that's something I don't want to go through again. And with this one, for the longest time, and I'm quite sure y'all even knew, even before meeting him, I talked a lot about not wanting any more children, period, point blank. That was it, dead. But I can say that meeting that individual, I'm not against it. Like before that, you knew it was.
It's hard when someone opens up a piece of you that you thought was closed off. It's very difficult to say that piece. And I recognize that, right? Like you didn't want that. You were closed off from it, and like the work and to be open and honest, the minimal work that someone else is willing to put in, because that's truly what that is. Because if it wasn't other than minimal work, then it'd be different. But the minimal work that they're willing to put in, like, makes you want to look at something different. Because unfortunately, the dating pool is very sad. Like the dating pool is very sad. It's very bleak. And so when you see someone who puts in a little bit more than what that dating pool is, it makes you kind of look at differently than what your normal standard would be. And so it's seeing that piece, and I know like what on a personal level been through with children and wanting more. I'm sure that's not an easy kind of like conversation to have with yourself afterwards, right? Like when that person and you have that conversation with them about having children, that doesn't follow through the way that your conversation has been had. And it's like, we were on the same page and now we're not. And so like, what does that look like moving forward for me? Because we're not in that same space anymore.
Correct.
So what does that look like moving forward for me? It's not a good feeling. Like
it's not, especially because it's not something that you were even thinking about. So it's like, oh, well, now that's in my head. Obviously, I'm fine with not having any more children, but I really
at this point with that person.
Correct. But even like if someone else was like, hey, I don't want anymore, it wouldn't be like, oh, well, I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. Before it was, if someone came to me and said I wanted a child, it was damn, that sucks for you. But that person did open that up to me. Like, and so it felt good to want that. It is sad that it is not occurring. I don't know. But I think that person taught me a couple different lessons. One, to value myself more, because I did not at the beginning of any of the relationships I would say that I was in for a long time. Like it was just, all right, well, this person wants me. I should be happy about that.
Right. Being more to discern what comes to you. Right.
And so this relationship taught me, no, you deserve more. You deserve better. And at the beginning, he really was doing all the things I was like, oh, I do deserve these things. And so it helped me to realize that, yes, you were doing it at the beginning. These things fell off for whatever reason. It could be they fell off, but it still helped me to realize that I do deserve it. Right. So that is a lesson that I was
You'll
taught, I
continue.
learned.
Right.
Exactly. The child is a lesson like, okay, I'm okay with having
Yeah.
children. Cool. All right, bam. There's a limit, but I am okay with it. So those were probably the two main ones. And I guess also learning when something changes that you can't force it, and you just have to let it, either you go with that flow or you have to stop it.
You have to let them know when your limits have been reached, your
Correct.
boundaries have been reached with what's
and that's
going
hard
on.
for me because I was in a ship for a very long time, for years, and I just let it go with what it went with.
What I love about you is that you like to see the good in people. That is the part that I feel like, I don't feel like you are, while you are a hard ass in many ways, Velvet, I don't think that you give very hard ends to people. I think that you give a lot of people chances and give a lot of people grace, even when they have showed you that they are not deserving of that, which I feel like we both have from each other to learn from that piece. Because I feel like the moment I don't like give you any grace, like the moment you show me that you don't have grace to be earned, I cut you the fuck off. Like, I feel like you was fucking winning in like baseball out of here.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like you were like, no, people they're more malleable than that. They have the ability to change. I feel like I wish there was a compromise between the two of us. Between giving people a lot of
grace and none.
Grace and then none.
Yeah. There is. I think we just have to learn it. And it's hard because I am, and sometimes I feel like, no, I just want to be the person that cuts them off. And I think sometimes I absolutely can be, because I've definitely done it. But I think that once you are a part of my life in a certain sense, that it's harder for me to do that. So I'm like, well, no, you're a part of my life, and I feel like you should understand where I'm coming from, whatever ship you are in, friendship, relationship, I'm giving you these chances, so you should be appreciative of my chances, because a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are like, oh, you're dead, that's it.
Right.
And me, I'm like, hey, I'm giving you a chance, and I'm telling you how I feel. I like, we should work through it. And it hurts when I give these chances and they don't do it. And so at that point, it's like, well, fuck it. Why should I even give chances? But that's just not who I am, and unfortunately.
I mean, it's like to try to put yourself after that, like put yourself out there after that. Especially, like, again, just, if just being transparent, like going through that, you know what I mean? Like in the dating sphere, dating is very difficult. Dating can be very much a hit or miss. Dating can be
stressful.
4, 5, 6 months of thinking that it's working, and either something just doesn't line up with what you thought it was, or just dead it all the way around. It happens, just like, Velvet's kind of being transparent in the way of dating. I had the same thing happen. Like last year, like 4 or 5 months, and then ghosted. Yeah. Dating is a very odd space to navigate.
It's trash.
Because you think,
y'all on the same page, and then
same page,
y'all aren't.
And you're communicating, right? People, and it's almost like the woman with TikTok. You think you're getting a piece of your partner, and you always just have to continuously check in with that person. Where are we? What's going on? Yeah. Like, you can't expect, like, where you were last to be where you continue to be. Like, we're good. It's always a continuous, are you happy? What can we do to keep this where we're at? If you're not, what can you do? I do to get us back on track. Like, it's a constant work. It's a constant work. And if someone else is not willing to do that work with you, then that's where the issue becomes. Because you can be gung-ho, and like Velvet and I can have the conversation. I'm telling Velvet, like, I literally give him what he wants. I hear what he likes. I constantly give that to him. But if he's not reciprocating to me, like what I'm giving to him, it's just not going to work. Like, I can be that perfect person. Like anybody who's dating in the dating pool, like that's literally how it goes. Like if you can give everything you feel like that person is wanting, but the person is not reciprocating it, and that person's not fully invested in it, then it's just not going to work.
Correct.
It's just not, and unfortunately that's the side effect, air quotations, the side effect of like what dating is, because you know,
and it's like some of them just be faking too.
Yeah, because
Right.
online dating is a different beast. Like, you know, prior to this, like for myself, like me dating people is either people who I actually knew or meeting people through who I knew. So there's almost like a certain level of like vetting that you had, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know you through them. I know this person's a good person. Like,
and I know they ain't gonna try to
they
hook me up
straight.
through nobody.
So
They
like,
crazy.
they gon' like whoever they know is gonna be good for me. You know what I mean? Like I know they're a solid person, so whoever they fuck with is a solid person. But like with online dating, it's like a Russian roulette. Like you're meeting people at what they give you as face value. They don't know other people. And so you're trying to be honest and open with people who you don't know, who don't have the ability to like fact check that behind the scenes. So it's like, it's also when things also don't also work out, it's kind of like, okay. So each person I deal with and who I want to exclusively deal with, I'm trying to give me. But like, what version? Do I give them like a diluted version of me? Do I give them like the full version of me? Like, how do I navigate that? Like,
and I
don't
think that's hard
much.
for women.
Yeah.
A lot. And I can't speak for a man. I'm assuming it's hard for them as well, but for on a woman's perspective, I think that's very hard to figure out how much of you can give. And I realized that I don't feel like really giving a diluted version of me.
Right.
Like, because otherwise, you know, we could go 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 years, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, 3 years, whatever, and they not truly know the real you. And then when they do, they're like, well, I don't like that person. So I just give all of me up front. And maybe that's the problem. I don't know. I have no idea. But I wish nothing but the best for him, though. I just want to put that out there.
But like, also like, fuck that. You don't have to wish that. Like, I just want,
but I do, though.
But like,
so
that's great. Like, I love that for you. You can want everything you want for them. But like, truly in like this dating atmosphere, like, I just want to be like really clear. Like, fuck everybody else. Because in this dating sphere, who are you trying to find someone to match who you are? You.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's great if you meet like, all right, okay, people along the way, people who like are like trying to find who like you are. But like, who you really need to invest that like energy into is fucking you, dog. Like, you need to invest that energy into yourself.
Correct.
Like, fuck that motherfucker. Like, that's great. Like, maybe y'all could intertwine at some place in the like later future, but like right now, that ain't what it is.
Oh yeah, no, we're not intertwining.
But like, no, like I get like, I hope you get the great out of life and it, but like, you didn't uphold to your end of the bargain. Like, you got to, if you can't speak what you're not ready to give. You just can't.
Maybe you just wasn't ready to give it to me, but I guess we discussed that.
And that's great.
Podcast.
Oh, when we ain't ready to give to one, we get to another. We could dive into that on the next potty.
Because there are people out there, and it's just, again, maybe there was a lesson learned on his end from me, or you know, from your previous relationships. Maybe there's a lesson learned from you know, on his end from you. So I'm just saying there are different lessons learned on different things, and maybe he will give what was not able to be given to me to someone else, and there was a lesson learned from me, and vice versa. I'm just saying I try to be positive, and some people don't like that either. I'm just saying that as well. I'm just telling you.
You know what, Bella? I appreciate your positive outlook. But I don't give a fuck.
But
because I'm gonna always ride.
Yes, and I appreciate it. And I always will ride as well. I try to be positive.
So I don't give up.
I
don't
give a fuck about my notes. No, son.
So there's that. But whatever your endeavors are, whatever it is that you are going against and trying to overcome, we wish you guys the best. If there's any advice that we can offer to you guys, let us know.
Yes. Please let us know in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and tell everybody.
And as always, love is
life.
Love and life.
Okay, because we're talking about okay.
Yes, it's tough, my dear, but so are
motherfucking you. Because God damn it, it is you. And just remember that each of you are beautiful, and to never stay what?
What's the word? Stagnant?
In your motherfucking life, bitches. Motherfucking life. Motherfucker.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Miss